spent a considerable amount of time on this assignment, attempting to understand the underlying effects of individuals exposed to a Class A cognitohazard. I have conducted numerous personnel interviews, written a great many psychological reports, but I have not been able to properly deduce what about this creature would lead a perfectly sane man out the door of that airlock, and into the maw of the eel. Earlier this week, as I was preparing my notes for another report, I accidentally knocked the picture of myself, my wife, and my daughter off my nightstand. The glass shattered as it hit the ground, and the picture inside fell out. As I cleaned it up, I noticed something written on the reverse of the image. It said, Anand, Shanti, and Padma, June 2002. But the writing was not mine. It was Venkat's. I was puzzled by this. Why would Venkat have written on the back of a picture of mine? I thought little of it at the time, and cleaned up the mess and went about my day. But this question stuck with me. It was a little thing, easily explained in any number of ways, but I could not seem to shake the notion of uncertainty. It was not until last night that a horrifying thought struck me, one that I could not sleep on. I accessed the Foundation personnel archives and realized a truth that I could not reconcile. Shanti was Venkat's first wife. Padma was his daughter. The records are clear. The life I remember, the experiences I am certain I have had with them, are the experience and memories of Venkat, not mine. I have never been married, and I have no children. Even now I can see my wife in my mind, hear her daughter, smell her hair. But I know now that it is Venkat I see her through, not me. The horror of this realization has been replaced with a queer sort of dread. I figured out what the eel does. Something about it, some latent part of its creation, abhors cognition. It breaks down human consciousness and scatters the parts of us that we believe is a soul until all that remains is what we really are, electrical signals that will someday become inert. If I can't even remember myself, how can I expect anyone else to remember me? I have forgotten my own life, and I am strangely apathetic at this revelation. I will fade into the darkness as thousands before me have, and thousands after me will. No one will care as I am forgotten. I do not despair for my own sake, but for us all, you and I. We will all face obliteration. I am not important, you are not important. Vast droplets of irrelevancy, stretching eons in the sea of time. You may fight against it, but our enemy is inevitable. I do not think that the eel is an esthetician. I do not think it would matter if it was. What is clear to me now, as I feel myself coming apart, is not that the eel is some mythological creature or divine serpent. Perhaps it's just a primitive creature that eluded us, holding no malice. Perhaps it really is a primordial deity harboring resent beneath the surface. The eel is not the harbinger of my demise or humanity's doom. The eel is not the end of all things, it only shows us what the end looks like. And in spite of everything we might believe, every ideal we hold, or providence we pray for, I know this much is true for all of us. Our end will be a forgotten one.
You don't have a lot of time. You'll need to get away quickly. Go back to the lake. Go into the water. Look into their eyes. It's your friends, your classmates. You took the trip to the lake in the fall of 75, together, when you were young. Don't you remember? Look into their eyes. I know you can hear them talking to you just like they talk to me. Don't let them tell you it's just a cognitohazard. This was their fault. They caused this. We were all innocent kids, don't you remember? You just got away, you and I? The rest of them are at the bottom of that lake, waiting for us to go back to them and be whole together again. They want us to know. They want us to remember. Wake up, goddammit. Remember the fall of 75, the year we were supposed to graduate. Don't let them make you forget. They're calling to you, can't you hear them? Look into their eyes. Can't you hear them? I know you can. Can't you hear them? They're waiting for you. Go back to the lake.
If 2 ones make 2, and 2 twos make 4, what's to do when 2 twos won't make 4 anymore? When values in base 10 return sums in base 8, that 2 fours make 10 is the sum of all hate. If A equals B and C is not A, to hear that B is C leaves one wrought with dismay. When the enemy of an enemy is the enemy of one's friend, and hope of any clarity yields chaos in the end. Such is a punishment for those who wander too far from the path of the forest without name, and seek knowledge that is best left unknown. For your crimes of naming that which ought not to be named, you must accept that reality doesn't always make sense.
Logician.